Hi, I'm Lisa Leiter. Here's your Chicago Business Today midday report. If it's completed, it could be the one Groupon deal that sends a bold message about corporate Chicago. Crain's breaking the story in this week's print edition that the co-founders of Groupon are in advanced talks to buy the historic Wrigley Building. The potential price tag is unknown. Eric Lefkowski and Brad Keywell would use this space for Groupon, but also for other technology startups that they bankroll through their Lightbank startup. Albie Galoon broke the story and is here to talk more about it. Albie, great story. So how close are they to a deal at this point?
Well, they're pretty far along, but it's just hard to really know when they'll get to the finish line. You know, real estate deals are complicated, and you can hit snags along the way, and it can delay things for weeks or even months. So it's really hard to say.
We don't know the price tag, but what are your sources telling you could be a potential price for this building?
We're hearing somewhere in the $35 to $45 million price range, which actually doesn't seem like a lot of money. But you have to remember that when Wrigley moves out, they're going to leave the building more than half empty. So there's a lot of vacancy there.
Absolutely. And we do know that Wrigley said last month that they wouldn't really consider changing the name of the building in any deal that they would make. What do we know about that? I mean, do we think that these Groupon founders would want to put their name on the building?
It's hard to know. I mean, I think it would be a great feather in their cap if you could call it the Groupon building, but Wrigley publicly has stated that that's not something they're willing to consider. But, I think when you're negotiating a real estate deal, anything's probably on the table.
And what about what this says about corporate Chicago and how it's changed? I mean, if Groupon were able to snag this building, what would it say?
Well, I mean, obviously symbolically, it's really interesting because you've got the old economy company, Wrigley, that's moving out, and the new economy company, Groupon, that would be moving in, and so it really represents a changing of the guard for the Chicago economy.
All right, Albie, well, we'll see if the deal gets done. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
And Groupon's offices right now, we should point out, are in two locations at 600 West Chicago and also at an East Loop office building as well. Well, Motorola Chief Executive Sanjay Jha is not the only one who will benefit from Google's $12.5 billion buyout. Motorola employees whose stock options have been worthless will now be getting a long-awaited reward. The all-cash deal at $40 a share should put employees' options back into the black. Between 2007 and the company's breakup at the start of 2011, Motorola stock had lost almost half its value. Then it dropped another 19% this year before Google announced its takeover a week ago. And finally, United Continental is making the biggest upgrade on its planes since the companies were combined in a merger last year. The airline will spend more than $500 million to install flatbed seats, add legroom in some rows, and expand overhead bin space. The improvements will also include streaming wireless video on its 747-400 jets and installing broadband Wi-Fi on more than 200 planes. The changes are on top of the 25 new planes, including the Boeing 787 Dreamliner, that United plans to add next year. And that's this edition of Chicago Business Today. Be sure to stick with chicagobusiness.com for all of your local business headlines. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.